You won't believe how the clothing mistakes I made when going to the doctor prevented me from receiving proper treatment. You won't believe how my fashion style mistakes in 6 categories actually affect the treatment I want to receive and the way I receive it. How you dress for doctor's appointments is much more important than you think. I didn't know this until I experienced it myself. It sounds superficial, doesn't it? Who cares what you wear to the doctor? They're medical professionals. They should treat everyone the same, regardless of clothing. But I'm 76 years old, living in Jacksonville, Florida. And 6 months ago, I learned a painful truth. The way I dressed for doctor's appointments was actually affecting the quality of care I received. And this was the most obvious example of human nature. It wasn't intentional. My doctors weren't malicious. But certain clothing choices I made were preventing proper examinations, wasting appointment time, creating communication barriers, and making me appear less credible or competent than I actually am. Today, I'm going to share 6 specific clothing mistakes older people, especially women, make at doctor's appointments, and how these mistakes can negatively impact your health care. This isn't about vanity or fashion. This is about getting the best possible medical care. If you're over 60 and still going to appointments without thinking about what you wear, you need to hear this. It could significantly improve your health care. Let me tell you my story and what I learned. My name is Beatrice Walsh. Everyone calls me B. I'm 76 years old, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida, specifically in the beautiful Riverside neighborhood near 5 Points. I've lived here for 20 years. My husband Walter and I moved from Pennsylvania when he retired from his career as an electrician. We absolutely love Jacksonville, the magnificent St. Johns River, the beautiful beaches at Jacksonville Beach and Neptune Beach, the historic neighborhoods with oak trees draped in Spanish moss, the wonderful restaurants on King Street. We bought a charming 1920s bungalow with a front porch and original hardwood floors. Walter died 3 years ago from COPD complications. I miss him terribly, but I've built a good life here alone. Morning walks in Memorial Park, afternoons at the Cummer Museum of Art and Gardens, dinners at Hawker's or Black Sheep Restaurant, volunteering at the Jacksonville Public Library downtown. I'm relatively healthy for 76, but like most people my age, I have several chronic conditions requiring regular medical care. I have high blood pressure controlled with medication, osteoarthritis in my knees and hands that makes some activities difficult, mild type 2 diabetes controlled with medication and diet, and some balance issues that require me to be careful on stairs. Every 3 months, I see my primary care doctor at Baptist Medical Center on San Marco Boulevard for checkups and medication management. Twice a year, I see my cardiologist at Mayo Clinic. Every 3 months, I see my endocrinologist to monitor my diabetes. And I see various specialists as needed: an orthopedist for my knees, a dermatologist for skin checks. I'm at a doctor's office at least once a month, sometimes twice. About 6 months ago, I had a particularly frustrating appointment with my primary care doctor, Dr. Amanda Morrison. I'd been having worsening knee pain for several weeks and wanted her to examine it thoroughly. I was hoping she would order an MRI or refer me to an orthopedic specialist. But the appointment felt rushed from the start. Dr. Morrison seemed distracted and under time pressure. When I asked her to examine my knee, she barely looked at it, maybe 30 seconds of poking and prodding. She prescribed physical therapy without what I felt was a thorough examination and quickly moved on to other topics. The entire appointment lasted maybe 12 minutes. I left feeling unheard, dismissed, and frustrated. This wasn't the first time I'd felt this way. Throughout the past year, I'd been increasingly feeling that my doctors weren't taking me seriously, weren't listening to my concerns, weren't giving me the attention and care I deserved. I complained to my friend Joyce over lunch at the French Pantry, a lovely cafe we frequently visit in Avondale. Joyce is 74, a retired nurse who worked at Mayo Clinic for 35 years, sharp as a tack and still very connected to the medical world. I vented, "Joyce, I don't know what's going on. My doctors seem to rush through appointments. They don't really listen to what I'm saying. They don't take my concerns seriously. Do you think it's because I'm old? Are they dismissing me because of my age? Is this ageism?" Joyce looked at me thoughtfully and said something completely unexpected. "B, can I ask you something that might seem odd? What were you wearing at that appointment with Dr. Morrison?" I was confused. "What does that matter?" "I don't know. My usual stuff. Probably one of my comfortable outfits. Why are you asking?" Joyce said, "Describe exactly what you were wearing." I thought back to the appointment. Well, let me think. I was wearing my favorite velour tracksuit, the burgundy one I bought at Beal's, and my orthopedic sneakers with special inserts. I had my big leather purse with me, the one I bring everywhere because it holds everything. And I think I was wearing my turquoise necklace and matching bracelet. "Why does this matter?" I asked. But I would understand how important it was as we talked. Joyce sighed deeply. "B, I'm going to be honest with you, and this might be hard to hear, but I care about you, and I want you to get good medical care. The way you dress for doctor's appointments affects how they treat you and the quality of care you receive. I worked in healthcare for 40 years. I know how doctors and nurses think about and respond to patients, even if they don't consciously realize they're doing it. When you show up in a tracksuit looking like you just rolled out of bed, when you're wearing complicated clothing that slows down examinations, when you have so many accessories they can't do their job efficiently, it absolutely affects how seriously they take you, how much time and effort they invest in your care, and the thoroughness of your examination." This was hard to hear at first. I immediately became defensive. "Joyce, that's ridiculous. Doctors are professionals. They shouldn't judge patients based on what they're wearing. That's discrimination." Joyce nodded. "You're absolutely right. They shouldn't. In a perfect world, what you wear wouldn't matter at all. But they're human beings with unconscious biases and time pressures. And more importantly, beyond the psychological aspects, certain clothing choices create very real, practical problems that directly interfere with proper medical examinations and efficient appointments. This isn't just about perception, it's about functionality. Let me explain what I mean. That conversation was eye-opening and frankly, a bit painful. Over the next hour, as we finished our lunch and had coffee, Joyce explained 6 specific clothing mistakes that older people, especially older women, commonly make when going to doctor's appointments, and why each mistake matters both psychologically and practically. As she talked, I realized with growing embarrassment that I was making almost all of these mistakes regularly. I was defensive at first, but Joyce's explanations made sense. She wasn't being judgmental. She was sharing insider knowledge gained from decades in healthcare. Actually, what she did was very valuable to me, and I realized this later. I decided to take her advice seriously and completely change how I dressed for medical appointments. The difference over the past 6 months has been absolutely remarkable. My appointments feel more efficient, more thorough, more respectful. I genuinely believe I'm receiving better quality medical care. Let me share the 6 mistakes Joyce taught me about. Clothing. Mistake 1. Wearing complicated, multi-layered outfits. The first mistake Joyce identified was wearing complicated, multi-layered outfits. that are difficult and time-consuming to remove for physical examinations. She said, B, think about what you were wearing to that appointment with Dr. Morrison. You had on a velour tracksuit with a full front zipper, right? And underneath that tracksuit jacket, what was there? A turtleneck? And under that, your usual undershirt and your bra, and the tracksuit pants had elastic and a drawstring? And you were wearing leggings under the pants? How many layers is that? 5, 6. When Dr. Morrison needed to examine your knee or listen to your heart and lungs, how long did it take you to remove enough clothing for her to do a proper examination? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? I thought about it and realized Joyce was right. It took a very long time to undress enough, even for basic examinations. Joyce continued, doctors typically schedule 15-20 minutes for routine follow-up appointments. Some have even less time, 12 minutes in some practices. If you spend 7 or 8 minutes of that appointment time just undressing and then redressing after the exam, how much actual time is left for the doctor to examine you, discuss your concerns, review your medications, and answer your questions? Maybe 7 minutes? 8? No wonder your appointments feel rushed. You're using up half the appointment time just managing your clothing. She explained that older women especially tend to dress in extensive layers, partly because we get cold easily, partly for modesty, partly because it's what we're used to. But in a medical setting, all those layers create serious problems. Doctors need direct access to your body to do proper examinations. They need to listen to your heart and lungs with a stethoscope directly on your skin. They need to palpate your abdomen to check for masses or tenderness. They need to look at your skin for suspicious moles or rashes. If accessing those areas requires removing 5 or 6 layers of complicated clothing, you're wasting valuable appointment time. And here's what happens. Doctors get frustrated with the time waste, so they either rush through the exam, doing a less thorough job, or they skip parts of the examination entirely. Joyce recommended wearing simple, easy-to-remove clothing to all medical appointments. Wear a simple button-up shirt or blouse that you can quickly unbutton. Wear simple pants or a skirt that comes off easily, not complicated yoga pants with drawstrings. Minimize undershirts and layers. The easier it is for them to examine you, the more time they have for a thorough examination. Research supports this. A 2019 study in the Journal of General Internal Medicine found that appointment efficiency and examination thoroughness are significantly affected by patient cooperation factors, including how quickly patients can prepare for examinations. I was wearing complicated outfits, tracksuits, layers, turtlenecks, thinking I was being practical and modest. But I was actually making medical examinations harder, slower, and less thorough. I changed immediately. Now I wear simple clothing, a button-up cotton shirt, simple elastic waist pants or skirt, minimal layers. My examinations are now significantly more thorough. Clothing. Mistake 2. Wearing excessive jewelry. The second mistake was wearing excessive jewelry that interferes with medical equipment. Joyce said, B. When you show up with heavy necklaces, multiple bracelets, large earrings, and rings on every finger, it creates problems. Doctors need to check your pulse at your wrist. Bracelets get in the way. They need to listen to your heart and lungs. Necklaces interfere. If they need to do an EKG or attach monitors, jewelry interferes with electrode placement. Plus, excessive jewelry sends a message that you're not taking the appointment seriously. I remember one specific incident that really drove this point home. Dr. Morrison needed to check my heart rate and blood pressure during one visit. I was wearing 3 chunky bracelets on my left wrist. the one where they take blood pressure readings. The nurse had to ask me to remove them, which took time fumbling with clasps my arthritic fingers struggled with. Then when the doctor came in to listen to my heart, my heavy chain necklace kept clanking against the stethoscope. She had to ask me to hold it aside, which was awkward and uncomfortable. The whole examination felt disrupted and inefficient because of my jewelry choices. She explained that medical professionals unconsciously judge patients by their appearance. If you show up looking like you're going to lunch at the country club instead of a medical appointment, they might perceive you as less compliant, less serious about your health. Joyce elaborated on this psychological aspect. Think about it from their perspective. They see dozens of patients daily. When someone shows up dripping in jewelry, perfectly coiffed, looking like they're about to attend a social event, it sends a subconscious signal about priorities. It suggests appearance matters more than the medical issue at hand. Fair or not, that perception affects the interaction. Joyce recommended minimal jewelry. Wear your wedding ring if it's important. Small earrings, that's it. No necklaces, no bracelets, no excessive rings. I was wearing my entire jewelry collection. Multiple necklaces, bracelets, rings. I thought I was presenting myself well. The truth is, I'd been dressing up for doctor appointments the same way I dressed for other outings. Church, lunch with friends, shopping. I wanted to look put together and dignified, but I failed to consider that a medical appointment has different requirements than a social occasion. Now I remove jewelry before appointments. Examinations are smoother. Clothing. Mistake. 3. Wearing tight, restrictive clothing. The third mistake was wearing tight or restrictive clothing that's difficult to work around. Joyce said, when you wear skinny jeans, control top pantyhose, compression garments, or tight clothing, it creates problems. Doctors need to check your legs for swelling, your feet for circulation, your abdomen. If your clothing is so tight they can't roll it up or work around it, they either skip parts or ask you to completely undress, which is uncomfortable and time-consuming. Many older women wear compression clothing or shapewear, thinking it's helpful. But in medical settings, it's counterproductive. It hides problems like swelling. It makes examinations difficult. Joyce explained a medical example that shocked me. If you're wearing control-top pantyhose that compresses your abdomen, it can actually mask abdominal distension that might indicate fluid retention or other serious problems. If you're wearing tight compression stockings, they can hide edema in your ankles and calves, swelling that could indicate heart failure or blood clots. You're literally hiding symptoms from your doctor by trying to look slimmer. Joyce recommended comfortable, loose-fitting clothing. Wear pants with elastic waistbands that can be easily pulled down. Wear skirts that can be lifted. Don't wear tight jeans or pantyhose unless your doctor specifically recommends it. Research shows restrictive clothing can affect blood pressure readings and hide swelling. I was wearing control-top pantyhose and tight pants. I'd been wearing them to every appointment for years, thinking I was presenting myself well and looking more put together. I didn't realize I was making my doctor's job harder and potentially hiding health issues that needed attention. Now I wear comfortable, loose clothing. Clothing. Mistake 4. Wearing overly casual or sloppy clothing. The fourth mistake was wearing overly casual or sloppy clothing, like pajama-like outfits. Joyce said, that velour tracksuit, when you show up looking like you just rolled out of bed, it affects how seriously they take you. Doctors assess patients holistically. If you look unkempt, they might assume you're not compliant or experiencing cognitive decline. Appearance influences medical decision-making. Studies show that well-groomed, appropriately dressed patients receive more time and attention. Patients who look sloppy are suspected of non-compliance. Joyce shared a disturbing insight from her nursing years. I've seen doctors make notes in patient charts about poor self-care or possible depression based primarily on appearance. Disheveled hair, stained clothing, pajama-like outfits. Those notes can influence treatment decisions and how seriously your complaints are taken. It's not fair, but it's reality. Appearance communicates information about your mental state, your ability to care for yourself, and your respect for the medical encounter. Joyce recommended clean, neat, casual clothing. Wear clean clothes that fit well and look intentional. Nice pants and a blouse. Clean shoes. Combed hair. I was wearing my tracksuit thinking it was practical. I justified it as comfort and convenience. Why dress up for a medical appointment? But I failed to understand that dressing appropriately doesn't mean formal or fancy. It means clean, neat, intentional clothing that shows you care about yourself and respect the appointment. Now I dress neatly. Doctors take me more seriously. Clothing. Mistake 5. Wearing difficult to remove shoes. The 5th mistake was wearing shoes that are difficult to remove. Joyce said, when you wear lace-up orthopedic sneakers with inserts, how long does it take to remove them? Doctors need to check your feet, especially if you're diabetic. If your shoes take 5 minutes to remove, they'll skip the foot examination. Foot examinations are important, but are frequently skipped because patients wear complicated footwear. Wear slip-on shoes, flats or sneakers you can take off in seconds. Keep your feet clean and your toenails trimmed. I was wearing lace-up orthopedic sneakers. Taking them off took too long. I remember one appointment where my endocrinologist asked to check my feet for diabetic neuropathy. I was wearing my lace-up sneakers with custom orthotics that had to be removed separately. It took me nearly 5 minutes to unlace them, remove them, take out the inserts, and then peel off my socks. My doctor waited patiently, but I could see her checking the clock. When the exam was finally over, it took another 5 minutes to reverse the process. I'm certain that experience made her less likely to thoroughly examine my feet at future appointments. My doctor rarely examined my feet. Now, I wear simple slip-on shoes. Foot examinations are thorough. Clothing. Mistake 6. Bringing too many items. The 6th mistake was bringing too many accessories and bags. Joyce said, when you show up with a giant purse, tote bag with files, jacket, scarf, where does it all go? It clutters the room. You spend time digging through bags. It creates chaos. Older patients especially bring excessive items. Bring just one small bag with essentials. ID, insurance card, medication list, pen. Leave the rest in the car. Joyce also warned about perfume. Many doctors have scent sensitivities. Heavy perfume causes headaches. Go scent-free. I was bringing my giant purse and bags. I'd arrive at appointments loaded down like I was going on a trip. My enormous leather purse stuffed with wallet, cosmetics, medications, snacks, reading material, and who knows what else. A separate tote bag with file folders of medical records and test results. My jacket, often an umbrella or extra sweater. All of this would get piled on the exam table or chairs, creating clutter and chaos. I'd waste appointment time digging through my bags looking for my medication list or insurance card. Now, I bring only a small bag with essentials. What I wear now. I've completely changed how I dress. My standard outfit, button-up cotton shirt, elastic waist pants or simple skirt, minimal undergarments, slip-on shoes, small bag, no jewelry except wedding ring, and small earrings, neat hair, no perfume. I choose colors that are neutral and professional. Navy, black, gray, white. I make sure everything is freshly laundered and wrinkle-free. I comb my hair neatly but don't spend time on elaborate styling. I skip makeup, except for a bit of powder and lipstick if I feel like it. The goal is to look clean, intentional, and respectful without being overdressed or underdressed. I can undress and redress in under 2 minutes. The results? 6 months later, the difference is remarkable. Appointments feel thorough and less rushed. Dr. Morrison now does complete examinations. Specialists take me seriously. They listen, ask questions, involve me in decisions. I feel respected and heard. Last month, I had a follow-up about knee pain. Dr. Morrison did a thorough examination, tested range of motion, checked for swelling, watched me walk. She spent 20 minutes with me. She ordered an MRI and referred me to a specialist. The contrast with my appointment 6 months ago was stark. That rushed 12-minute visit, where she barely glanced at my knee, versus this thorough 20-minute examination, felt like night and day. I genuinely believe my clothing changes contributed to that difference. Compare that to the rushed visit before. My message: if you're over 60, consider these 6 mistakes: complicated outfits, excessive jewelry, tight clothing, overly casual clothing, difficult shoes, too many accessories. Make it easy for your doctor to examine you. Dress simply, cleanly, appropriately. Minimize jewelry. Wear slip-on shoes. Bring one small bag. Present yourself as someone who takes their health seriously. This isn't vanity. This is maximizing medical care quality. You deserve thorough examinations and attentive doctors. Don't let clothing interfere. If this resonates with you, leave a comment. Have you thought about appointment clothing? Share your experiences. Hit that subscribe button for aging and healthcare advice. Remember, you're advocating for your health. Present yourself helpfully. I learned this at 76. I hope my story helps you.